Hey, Michael, just how excited are you about this opportunity and to be able to get it done, before you even have to head into a contract year? How cool is that, and to know where you're going to be here for a while?
Yeah. First, let me just give thanks to God and and praise Him and give Him all the glory for just making all this come together. Just grateful just for His faithfulness towards me and His favor over my life and my family and everything like that. So, super blessed to be in this position. But yeah, man, it's super exciting. I couldn't imagine being anywhere else. And I really believe, even when I first got here, that we will be able to win a lot of games here, and I wanted to be a part of that. From day one, and to be from where we started to now, and then the growth of myself personally and of the team, and now signing this extension. It means the world, and thankful to the Jets, for seeing the value in me and putting the trust in me and their faith in me. And so just super grateful that they really believed in a fifth round, 5'10" pick from Duke.
How did this come together? And was this something that you were kind of seeking out, or did they approach you? And yeah, how did it all come together? And is this something you could have imagined even like a year ago?
I think a year ago it was definitely something I was striving for, but ultimately I just wanted to, like I said, I wanted to be the best slot corner and be the best in my position, and so that was really what a lot of my focus was on. And then this kind of came about, just organically, and it kind of happened, rather fast. And I appreciate how everybody went about it. With my agent Kellen and Joe D and Woody, they worked really hard to get it done, and kind of just found out, not like really like yesterday, that was on the table, and it was an opportunity I couldn't pass up.
Michael, what did it mean to get some of the reactions you got, whether on Twitter or I'm sure some, private text and conversations you've had with your teammates?
Oh man, it meant a lot, especially coming from my teammates, man. Just how excited, they were, and showing a lot of love. I think really that just showed me again, the type of people we have and the type of people that have been brought into the organization, that we really care about each other and each other's lives outside of football and each other's families, and we want to see, the best for each other. And so, it meant a lot to just receive, those praises and, all the love from family and loved ones. And social media too. I've been on it, but I tried to like be off of it a little bit. So, when everything just started flooding in, I was just like, I hopped on for a little bit and then just kind of hopped back off, and was like, I just want to, be present and, soak it all in, really.
You mentioned being a fifth round pick from Duke. Did you even surprise yourself that you've been able to do this, or what's your mindset when it comes to that?
It wasn't really a surprise. I think from if we were talking about from year one to where I'd be right now, then maybe that's a little bit of a surprise. But as I got more comfortable and more confident, as the year went on, and all those things, man, I really believe that this was something that could truly come to pass. And thankful for my support system, for always, believing in me and all that stuff too. Thankful for the team for believing in me as well. Yeah, especially thanks to my parents and my wife and, friends and my teammates. Shout out to defense, man, that really helped elevate and set a standard that you have to match and exceed to really be great. And so I appreciate, everybody who's, helped me get here.
further questions?
So some of the other guys in the locker room, they talk about how you don't maybe get as much credit as other guys, some of the bigger names, and as much credit as you deserve. How have you kind of navigated that with other guys kind of being more in the spotlight and now to have this validation? I'm sure you didn't need it, but what does that mean, and just what has that whole dynamic been like?
Yeah, I mean, I think internally, the respect and the love and the regard for, the position that I play has been there and is there. And so that's really a lot of the only validation I really need and seek other than my own. And obviously the validation of God in heaven. But other than that, man, it's really just been how can I be my best in order for us to win games? And how can I, elevate others around me to make sure, everybody's doing their 111 and we can all come together and play at a high level. So that way everybody benefits in the long run, and everybody can feed their families and get paid and we win championships here. That's really where my motivation is.
Couple more.
Can you speak of your journey from maybe the time you were drafted as a 5th round pick to now to be in this position?
Yeah, man, I think, I came in here, obviously the game's a lot faster than college, and it took some getting adjusted to. But once they kind of, were like, all right, you're the starter, it was no more, time to babysit. I had to grow up really fast and just be thrown into the fire and just learn on the fly. And so I appreciate the team for that. That really taught me a lot about myself and how to handle adversity, and as well as how to handle, outside noise and just be more intrinsically motivated. And so I think year 2, bringing in Sauce and DJ, I think that even more so than seeing that standard and seeing how good they were, I knew I had to match that. And then just the defense as a whole, from the linebackers to the D-line, from year 1 to now, the standard that has been set and the standard of excellence, I really had to match that because we want to be number 1. And that's really all it's about. And, when everybody's doing their job at the highest level, like I said, everybody benefits from that. And so I think, having everybody motivated in that same sense of just, I'm going to do my job so my brother can do his, I think it just allowed me to play more free and be more confident and ultimately just take more and more steps to elevate, year after year. And, this isn't even, the best of what I am right now. We're still getting better and better and better and learning. And so I'm excited, to win games this year.